Sangma la samje tashi de lo shuye.
Hello to everyone.
Ngöndro peje de nyamdo songro nang.
Please follow me in chanting the Ngöndro text.
Guru Bema Bawo Ngöndro Zodan Jeba Damji Ku Garda Zonda Ge Ngaje Loy Toje Gomba Reba Ran Jarje Ngo Dala Det Tadil Je Tadan Je De Zilje Dunje Namgara Jambara Enjur Jelama Ganjo Namji Medalando Jejezi Dada Gamzum Sem Jena Semloma Denjengandona Tezenendro Bena Waranja Mandro Jor Bezem Jela Purare Do Benal Jorne Shinga Jene Zodem Benjer Palama Je Jone Lunga Ye Da Nyomene Bar Dente Zam Go Bede Namba Le Jawai De Jidralaj Nerudre Nyam Gejendero Taranjende Nyendro Bayi Kelama Kandre Zo Namji Medage Gozum Jendelo Medage Gozum Jendelo Medage Gozum Jendelo On la so tandene long Kodo Sale Inzang and Longro Nyamdo Sarona Shugi.
Okay, now is the ninth for the exhalation of the still breath. So please follow me in doing this practice.
La so tande jela soldem dan jelap yue indu soso jizo do nan namba guru ma jimba la ngo saw lamba yimba che ane tela ni solo tseje do tabe yimba re solo de da tanda nga zo ngondro yeremba ngondro de le jang lodo namba shi kong yoba indu o denzo nge jong jangju yesem yang tabaje gyula ke ora chenje labdo solo sana solo tap no solo ta ben jela la me na wa chen song ja ne la me lunga yi Pusong Tosum, Soso Lunga Yusum, the Yermin and Jurson, some ne, and in Dejala Lodo number she and say Kajale, Malacurne, and then dry.
Okay, next is about the supplications and the the soliciting for blessings. So for this, we visualize Guru Rinpoche, a form of Guru Rinpoche. In essence, is our own root Guru and our crown. And then, while visualizing, then we are becoming completely one with our Guru. We are inseparable, becoming inseparable with the Guru from our body, speech, mind. And now as we are practicing the Ngöndro preliminary practice, we supplicate for the sake of proper renunciation and the generation of bodhicitta. And so we fervently supplicate for that purpose. And as now we are doing the practice of the for mind changing, so we will in the following we will talk about those points.
Balde Zawe Lama Rinpoche Dage Ju Peme Den La Ju Kaden Chembe Gone Jesu Kozon Doje Ngöndro Zaldo Zu Tezum Sanje Dam Jeje Ngo Lama Rinpoche Je Dage Ju Menjen Cholwara Jinje Labdo Zul Samlam Je Doba Jebara Jen Jula Jewara Jinje Labdo Zul Sedenye La Wazar Zoba Jembe Lam Tarjem Bara Jinje Labdo Zul Dezum Sanje Dam Jije Ngo Lama Rinpoche Je Dage Ju Menjen Cholwara Jinje Labdo Samlam Je Doba Jebara Jen Jula Jewara Jinje Labdo Sedenye La Wazala Zoba Jembe Lam Jo Tarjem Bara Jinje Labdo Tezum Sanje Dam Jije Ngo Lama Rinpoche Je Dage Ju Menjen Cholwara Jinje Labdo Samlam Je Doba Jebara Jen Jula Jewara Jinje Labdo Sedenye La Oza Zoba Jembe Lam Jo Darje Jinje Labdo Solwa Dezo Lama Rinpoche Dongwe Budu Jinjen Jeje Kalme Dala Reza Jele Tuye Irmen Jebara Jinje Lo Kema Dange Jujen Kangne Jadal Jurun Dine Shindu Nyebara Tune Jizon Nizon Jelanye Kewa Jube Longa Maju Renje Lingle Donlo Onyen Kalde Juje Bemba Madu Chini Milu Nyeba Galanjo Tada Debe Kurwa Rabji Lede Milu Tembe Ngöndro Rondo Ola So Hini Zo Ruwa Rido Semjen Tamje Dewa Deba Dan Dungal Minde Bashada Yimbare Dewi Kyudan Dungal Panyi Ji Da Kendi Tamichu Kona Mado Shen Lara Maleba Yindu Che Nalma Je Drubu Yona Korangin Drublu Je Yubares.
So we all sentient beings we are desiring happiness and undesiring sufferings. As for the cause of happiness, the one that we desire, and the suffering that we do not want, we don't want to experience. For those, the actual way is the the sublime Dharma. And then as for Dharma, there is a specific way to practice the sublime Dharma.
That's a Ngöndro ngoshi rinpatene lebiyungu yore. Ta Ngöndro tela chi Ngöndro, nangi Ngöndro sanlegi yore. Ta tanda nga zo tomong chi Ngöndro de komishinpa yinpa re. Tomong chi Ngöndro tela karso gore. Korwa tela ngebar jungar chebe ye kyujen zo de lodo namba shi yabo shi komkoba yinpa re. Tele tangbo 달조르 니아가와다 니치오 메다바니 보데 ngazo komsembare.
So then as for sublime perfect Dharma practice, we have preliminary Dharma practice as well as man-body Dharma practice, and as for that we also have this the inner and the outer preliminary dharmas. And for us, we are now at the point of practicing the outer preliminary dharma practice. And for this, then, in order to give rise to proper renunciation, so we have practice such as four mind changing. And within these, we have already talked about the subject matter of the difficulties of finding freedoms and riches, as well as impermanence and death.
Tata nanga zo le kyunre kola samlo tang shimba yimbare. Le kyunre sidul kabla le te chawa jila koyare. Ta kola semba ye jile dan Samba lunga de le chebe zawi le namba nyi yung yure. Semba yi je le se du yi je nga zo samlo tang dan den zo re. Do cha shedan temo sum dan relwe yi je le den zo che de mege we le re. Do cha shedan temo den zo je ndok cho do yor ba. Le den zo la ke we le se yure. tenzo sangen kaya mayin ba chidan tenzo ta loma tenji le sikyo bare di nangshen chene lunga yi le la yang che bare dosun yi le shu nen robe lunga yi choba sangma mige ware dosun dang relwa me basana minu di dokcho do gyurbe tohne chibayi na kewe le re te mayin be chidan nga zo sanyal rodo ye choba denzo chede longma denji le yimbare.
Okay, and then as now we are at the point of talking about the karmic cause and the effect. Then the karmic cause and effect basically are actions, right? As for the action, there are two different types of the actions or karma. The action related to our mind, and then action related to our speech and body. As for the action related to our mind, it's basically our mental states, how we think about certain things. As long as our way of thinking is connected with the desire, hatred, and ignorance, then these are, non-virtuous deeds, right? Non-virtuous deeds we have talked about. And then if our thinkings are going against these three, such as desires, hatred, and the ignorance, then it is virtuous deeds or the virtuous way of thinking. All right. And then as for the action that's related to body and speech, it is also if that action is related with three poison, then it's non-virtuous, non-virtuous deeds. And if it is related with, if it's not associated and it goes against the three poison, then it is, the virtuous deeds that are related coming from body and speech. And then apart from those two types of action, then there is also action which is indifferent, Loma in Tibet. For that, then those actions such as eating, sleeping, going there and here, so forth. These are called indifferent, the actions. So yeah, basically there are three types of actions or karma.
Dati nane tananga zo she so de keme ke jile namba ni kola she ke yore kaya zana jawa chimme namin je dewu jimbar sana mendo dedu jinje ji juzo de keme ke le nipo de la ra le ke yore luma denje le de tse de dedu denzo la zo pembar chigare mado jawa chimma la koe mise je chawa kaya mebare tse de na chimma niga la chawa chegende keme ke jile nipo de yimbare.
So we are specifically talking about the virtuous deeds and non-virtuous deeds. These are the deeds that are related to the our lives, not only in this eons or in this present moment, but also in the next moment, which is next life. So these are the ground or basis of our life, in the successive lives, our actions or our karmas in the successive life. Then as for the indifferent action, it is basically the basis or associated with the, deeds or the actions that are related in this life. It occurs in this life, the actions and the things that takes place in this life. For the next life and the previous life, the life and the kind of the actions, it is basically kind of dependent on the virtuous and non-virtuous deeds.
Tadi nga zo tanda mege wile kol leji kola kecha sheshemba indu ta mege wile tela yang ta dewu leji kola nga zo rupa dojire ta le di chawa kare chigire sita zanna nka dewu pembar chigire dewu kare chigire labdi zanna kola dewu mendawa kashe yungu yure dena na tangbo nga zo naminji dewu kola samloji tangi.
Okay, now as we are talking about non-virtuous deeds, the deeds or the action that produce, or brings another result, then basically the actions or the causal actions we have already talked about, but the resultant actions, if we look at the resultant action, what kind of resultant action would there be? Then there will be several different types of the resultant actions. And for that, we will first look at the resultant actions of the complete, the actions.
Ta namen jin dewu de nyongda rinpa mendawa mangbo yungu yure namen hajang ki nuba shuk che chakba ta ko nuba shuk che mata na mata sinu doja che na tima ngajal la soba tuksum da tunga la soba nyuma ba hajang shuk che shuk ji chebe namen jin dewu de tsedi rang la ne tunga nyong sigi yoba tende je yungu yure pena ane sanje chumden de shal shubi kabla sanje ji loma kelong lebe karma sekendane ko karasa gore hajangi namenji dewo shukche ta yongdu ne se lui de tene kasa gore jewa shenla mengo bache tagarang la idangi nama gyurne ne tongal nyongre sege yore ta diro yingbi ngeba ya yo mare tene ngarang zu debo mege wache be namen khaje sedela ne ne mangbo da kange mangbo leben de ne yong yore de ani 동초 연결이 레스그래 어 된대진 용스그래 어다 디미뇽 어 답시 제단 거서래 삼로 제단 거고도 된대 교스 삼로 나로나
Okay. Then, as for this completely right or the actions, then they are generally coming from the act of the performance or the act of 3 poison or 5 poison, such as the desire, hatred, attachment, ignorance, and aggression, and so forth, right? And through these actions, and then some the result comes directly in this life. These are so therefore these are called completely their right resultant actions, and they kind of occur within these life. And if we speak about an examples, during the life of the Buddha, he had a disciple named Lekpe Karma, and that it is said that disciple of the Buddha, he, due to the strong and the complete right, the actions, the negative actions, he had to suffer tremendous grief in his life, right in that life, in that moment. And this happens to also many of us, right? And these kind of action brings generally into our life many problems, such as sickness, and also of course then death itself, and many other sufferings. They are called completely right, the action resultant actions, or in some ways they are called also visible, directly relatable, or they're visible, the actions or karma. So now please take a few moments and think about these points.
so tene namen jinjo ne shenpa jigde je ne nyongjur ji le sikre ne dat 도숨 된소 슉 첨부 제바 된소 카시에 아니 그래서 그래 대 거랑라야 다른 뭐 먹보주도 미개와 된소 슉 체쇼 제베 남민지 저우데 냐올라 제게 요래 링기 예달라 제게 요래 아니 델레제 중에 아니 된돌라 제게 요래 다 체중데 렘바칸에서 그래서 도숨 하장기 슉 전부 하장 영몽 받는소 ngarmo yo bandenela ani chambo jingbo de hirame wala jingbo ani dewa jo chungolo chungo sandene zeda je yore an tener mena ya gyondu karasa gore doja shedan la so ba nyom ba gyundu shuk nuba tezam je mena yang gyundu mutune che dogu yo ba ina de pe sa yondu nuba chumbo shu cha dogu yo re de yang chu che shu la zi yo re dende shada me ba ila me la ina kun jing ba zi yo re dende kyuk ma de shada ma je ne gyun de me ba de la thama zi yo re o dende yani ani nyom ba yang duge ani Diji chenani karsawara namen jejini nyawa ida tunro ani kedande yang dende rinpachi yang yungu yore ani dende je sozo ji lengba nga rangso sozo sim ji sakdo samendo dos yang ani samlo dangro na sa yu na ani da pangye tabje da maung bala mijungwa che gugu yore sa mena da da dharang mutu nindro gugurwa o dende la kyok samlo dangro na
Okay, next, the karmically ripened, completely ripened actions is called completely manifest action depends on the conditions. And the and for this, it's also based on the three poisons, attachment, hatred, and ignorance, right? And through these, on this basis, then we give rise to different, non-virtuous deeds. And, there are specific way to kind of count these actions in terms of its degree. Then the most intense one will lead, it's basically most intense one is based on the general actions, the negative actions, which is very concrete and cruel. And on that, then the most intense, the karmically, the ripened action, was produced. And because of that, then we will be born into the hell realms. And then, little less than that, in terms of its degree, intensities, then it's also based on the actions, a negative action, which is a little less, little less intense, right? So then that action will lead us to be born in the hunger ghost realms. And then the other one, the third one, is the least intensified, the karmic, the right interaction, and then that will lead us to the animal realms. And these are basically, the degree of this is based on the intensities of the three poisons, three poison that we kind of commit through our the deeds, and then apart from that, there are also another way to kind of measure these actions, and which is also is in a way similar in terms of the accumulations. If we have accumulated a lot of negativity, then it becomes very intense, and then that will be the action that which will lead us to the hell realm. And if we have not accumulated that much, then it is a little less in terms of its degree. And then next one is the least accumulated, the accumulated negative action, accumulated the resultant actions. And these are the ways of measuring about these specific actions. And now we have to check for ourselves if we have accumulated such actions or committed such bad deeds or no. If we have, then of course it's important to correct our behaviors. And if not, then we have to maintain our good behavior. Please now take a few moments and think about these points.
so ene ta na jin do na men ji de ko la len dang shen la nyong jor da nyor mange be le se gi yore ene da me ge wa inde do chi ben number member de ka je de ne ke wa de ma da ba che ma la ma nyong wa che le ne ba te sam me ba ne ba ka ro chung chung yin ge ne zo ene ke wa ni ba pen je ene som ba ne ma la de ne lang se ge yore ta de ka du par du ke wa 동아도 연구래 연구 말해서나 시라셰 두고 매바래 양 가시 용어를 망해 빌려서 레 네바 하장 중중 여바 인도 아니께는 가시에 지금 가르서 그래 아니 레드마 탁 줘봐도 레드 매바 세로바 되네 연구래 그 주진 매바 다가 세바서는 연구 말아와 그 개와다 되네 가시에 세도면 하나 가서 그래 미개와 전부 집에 남면도 세주 매바래서나 대한 말에 된거 세주 요래 돼 그런 년부터 없이 상수는 메시세 봐서 근데 미개와 가요 말에 돼 년부터 좀 보셔라 매바이나야 아니 세조근 된데 가시더니 용으로 망해 봐서 요래 내가 시한은 용해 돼 딱고 가서 그래 뒤서 가서 버도 내려서는 돼 세가요 말에 걸버 참매 망보지 중망 줄라니 단대 집에 남인데 뇨양 쓰기 요래 어 된대지 랭 인도 는 가서 단다 랭에 봐 선남에도 메게 원래 된 조는 에 지금에 냠바지니 소소선다 된다 담고 그래
Okay, next the karmic glyph, the ripened, the actions, the karma is called the fairly experience, and some are kind of not experience the karma. This means that some of these the karmas are kind of not very very strong. Those though they are kind of accumulated based on the three poisons and then as a negative deeds, but they are not very strong. So we will not experience these, or the resultant action in this life. Some are, experienced in the, next life, in the third or the, fourth or the fifth life. They are not experienced directly in this life, right? But then apart from that, then there is another one, the karmic, the actions or the ripened action, which has even much less powers, and these sometimes along the way, along the course of the karmic occurrence, some are kind of not really kind of in the end not really ripened, right? Through different, conditions or other, incidents, and they are in a way kind of dispelled. So then we don't really get to experience those in later in time, right? So, and therefore it is not like that, non-virtuous deeds are not at all, kind of, not be kind of eliminated. Sometimes we can eliminate those, right? And then that kind of indicates these things. And but on the whole, whether they are very strong or very weak, we somehow experience most of our negative deeds in our the future lives. So therefore, it is always good to not to commit negative deeds. So now we have to, think about not committing those deeds. And so we have to take a few minutes and to think about this. It's good to think about this and make some commitment to ourselves that we will not commit any negative deeds in this life. So,
so da na chin do to sum koran nang se che ge bi on do na ya en she dang ge en number me men de ne nya wala che ru gu yure ne dwaja ge number me men de ye da la je ru gu yure timu ge number me men de tön la je ru gu yure de ne che zam je ke jare dan dwaja chenpo je ge na men de nya wa da ding ge ye da da ne chung we ne tön ru yin ba de ten ji shu ba na jar wa da na je ne she dang la yang char chu gu yure la ane temo la yang char cho gu yore ta di to sum de chamba zam jire de ma yin be de ne nga jal ta do la so ba da ane nyom ba shamba sama la yang rig de cho gu yore ane den de yin za ane so so sem ji ane kolong de la ka de ne ta bo che jam na ma do ne kolong chung chung che chung sana men do de re ma do da la de ne ane nga zo korwa da ngang song ji dong mong bo ji nyong go tu gu yure dan dan ne so so sem de lo so so ta bo ji ma jon de sa ma re sam ba ji che go gu yure de ne kyo sam na da lo na
Okay, now it's so basically about the three poisons, and within three poisons, we can kind of think in the way that the hatred, the subcategory of the three poisons, the first one, the hatred, will lead us to be born in the hell realms, and then attachment will lead us to be born in the hunger ghost realms, and then the ignorance will lead us to be born in the animal realms, and these are the very general the way of understanding about the three poison and their resultant karma or the actions, right? What will they bring for us? What is the defects of those three poisons? If we commit those three poisons, if we do those three poisons, then what kind of resultant actions we will experience? So this is very general explanation. And apart from those, we can also relate the other negative the deeds or thoughts such as conceit and jealousy to other resultant actions, and basically because of that case, then we have to adjust our motivations very well all the time. So motivations are very important, and the motivations are the the basis of where we will be in the future. So we have to be able to, in a way, control or take care of our motivations, or give rise to good motivations, as well as in our mind. We have to be able to control our mind. So now, please take a few moments and think about this.
so. Dine indu yang azu samlo la mi kaje mi hajang ngamba ane jawa nan tsingbo na doja nang dende kaja ne tserengbo neme ba teji ji palo longchu choba dang kaje ane mi samba sangbo yogen da mi ane jawa yabo chinga mangbo jane tse tongdo ne mangbo yogen la so ba kanga mangbo nyongdo tongdo tenzo gyunde ane golo ba mare be tende samlo yang korsa ki yore te tenje nganzo shuiba nashin le gyunde de ane samje meja ba shikcha de yore namin de tering sanye ra nyongo be ngeba yo mare ko jewa chema la nyongo yore cheme chema la nyongo yore kalba mangbo chela nyongen dende yore ane tse tirang la nyongen yongo yore te ngazo tanda deduk tenzo de tango me 자와 젠도 임바데 셴메고 바래 안데오 강당 뒤저 강기레스 뒤데 네바샤라요 마레 민간바 가정오마 저 망봉원지 아니 개회 도도 용대바요 스베레 미상보 카셰 저왕오마 된저 망보지는 대베 도도 용대요 바 데네스기 요레 아니 디엔데 가서 아니 다저도 네바면도 제상단다 제거바 조가르레스디 오마 가르쳐야 봐도 단대잖니 류당 된절라 따고래서 마음바 가르쳐 맞아도 단대 레가라 따고래 송여로와 에네 다 마음발은 내도 강령만용데 소즈 레라라 레게유도 에네 단대 레가서도 자와래 다 자와 가르쳐오래 자와 상보 농아 예수 미개와드마 님 방답 에네 개와주든 존줍답 어디 삼로 당고고요 다 개와주든 가서 마음발에 시기 인하다 단다 데네지는 교섭는 도로나.
Okay, then, in general, some people are very bad in their behaviors and they do very negative things. And, however, they, seem to be living a very long life and they're free of, suffering such as sickness and so forth. At the same time, they are enjoying great wealth, of course. And then some other people seem to be very nice, peaceful, but at the same time, they don't live long. They are always tortured by, sickness and then many other sufferings. And then they do not have much wealth as well. So then, with this phenomena, some people might wonder what is the how the karmic causality or the works, right? They might doubt about the karmic cause and effect, the causality, right? However, the causality is something that is quite inconceivable, and we ordinary people cannot really see the entirety of it in detail right away, right? So, it's quite, difficult to, say, or kind of what do you call this, determine just through few, actions that is happening in this life, about people's and the entire their accumulation of deeds, good deeds and bad deeds. However, whatever we are experiencing in life, it's certainly the result of our previous action. That's very certain. And some people might be kind of in this life experiencing the result of their bad deeds in previous life, in many lives, before, and some are probably, experiencing the good results of their deeds, the result of their, good deeds in the previous life. So it's hard to know, it's hard to be very certain about, what actions or the resultant action, occurs, depends on which specific action in time and in context, right? So it's hard to know. However, the case is that the result are all results are coming from the causes of the previous actions, and it says that whatever we are now in this life is it and the other way around probably. The our life, present life is a result of whatever we have done in previous lives, and then whatever we will be depends on our present actions. It says that. So therefore, we have to think about this well, and at the same time, commit ourselves not to do any negative deeds. So please now take a few moments and think about these points.
So daga nangjin da ngazo danda subu nguju jaya dang yugul yinze kangbo yang le la ra le gu yure ne da jigden gi chawa sana mendo yana jigden gi nawa chinye ba tamje gyume keme le chungwa je rebe lamna dene mare gyume ba le chungwa ne tsawa nyene yu mare gyumayin ba na ta na la dang an jigden cheba bo chiga suya shakba dende je yore besana dende yang kaya yu mare ane gyu kange cheba resana gyu sozo le la dende chung mare gyu de sozo le rwa le chigan zo de semre semla dende ane lunga yisum gi an chawa dhamana jen rugu yore di ne le la dende ane rewa dewa nyungu do dang dungal dhamana mongba nyungu do dang tsama kende la ra le yore 안 제법어 멜람나 안 제법어 레레 제법어 유여레 람나네 제법어네 강사나 하다 되네지 개요 말에 아니 다디 다나 소소라 왕규르도 와 아니 소소 셈데 다보 야보 냐네 아니 가서 도숨 여왕도 마당 위톤네 롱아 유숨지 자와 제바이나 개와 차기요 마당 아니 rewa tungal nyungu gu yu mare ane sozo sem di tenche payo wangdo mandro wache ane doksum yu wangdo shorwa ina ane di dobi lunga yusum ji chawa tamche mege wala nyu dogu yore ane rewa dewa dogu yu ba ina ya dewa togu yu mare tungal nyung dogu yore de cheba bo ngarang sozo lara lege doa de cheba bo 강사 현재다 바로 보제다 견직증 당 아주 동아지 중송의 남상 견데 체롤라 살도 요래 체롤데 견삼 지그래다 말은 견삼 지그래 견마마데 말와 찰게 견제다 자와 잡아보죠 규마마지 니 용구비 나네 찰게 견데 다 체롤라 라레바 요래 아니 자와 잡아보 마마데 소소래도 와 Then sozo sem yabo je nyar na mado ndeksa mares o dende je yang samlo je dangro nang.
Okay, then generally, our movements, our ability to move, all depends on our karma, the actions, right? Whatever appears in the world, in the phenomenal world, all these, the entities and the appearances are, based on certain causes. They all are kind of born from their own causes, right? They are not created by spirits such as God or the creator, so forth, right? All of them, including ourselves, our movement, so forth, are caused by their own, they're produced by their own causes, right? Comes from their own causes. If we think about the doers, then the doer itself is our own action. There is no other doers other than our own actions or our own karmas. So if we fall under the sway of three the poison and do negative things, then of course, then we will get to suffer tremendously as a result. But on the other hand, if we do not let ourselves fall under the sway or the control of three poison and do virtuous things, then as a result, we experience tremendous peace and happiness. So from this, it is very obvious that we ourselves, if there is a specific subject, are doers, then it is ourself, our actions. Our actions are producing, our futures or the result that we experience later in time, right? So there's no such being such as a creator or God who are kind of imposing all these, the different experience upon us, right? It's all of them are caused by or produced by ourselves, So some are kind of also, slightly influenced by these, external, conditions, the external conditions or temporary condition we call. But apart from these temporal conditions, then actual causes are always, kind of brought by ourselves. It depends on ours, our own actions, So therefore, now please take a few minutes and think about, our own actions. Our own actions are the actual doers, actual subject of, what we will experience in the future. So please now take a few moments and think about this.
So, 근데 삼조제 아니 뭐 냠도 소로랑
doing the dedication.
Jaya Rolba Jembe Jelunguru Tejen Sanga Jebe Gewa Dusum Zabe Gezo Gondo Lame Janjum Nyingburu Ngowarangi Sonam Diye Daye Ruwa Chena Zawe Barje Gwenje Remni Lam Cheba Darajen Pema Jalbungu Nyurundo Ejo Zanyu Lame Jela Mnyela Yedam Gandro Ludan Jibje Chenyon Zome Barje Gunzal Chodun Ngöndro Raje Jo Oma Oma Drangoro Bema Zede O Mejede Chembe Yejene Awazanyo Megaye Dame Sonjo Wambejo Darangona Ranjinjo Bejinjo Bema Cheni ngon som jazer dele lo nyam na ko me ganje bur re ba ze be ba o dage cheze lo de doje lo garanjur de me ko bo da ye ninje de je chana be mo Kozum gonde jeme dode Kandon jo be zenjo jelazo Zendango ye namro dale be jojo chawa jebe dunza Tajen ga nyam ye je jazongo Zede be ma da do je warajo te yare ze nam je ze lam la de ne ko da ye je jazo so je la me go ba nyurdo raje de ne lu je ro barajo de me je da me be manjo rananta be zando bare nare me manjo nyume de ne nam da jendo je warajo gando je be je wa damji tore yende donde do barajo Kema dado jeda jegyurune zulje jube rawa yub Chedo nene nyingbo dundumde Zedre zebe jazo galoraj Seba dambe jera rabduj Shimben jubla tyungal meboraj Labjen shindu chore mebay Tamje jamje zanje do barasho Lazo kozo do jana Ana toji shugi Ana yang chema jayong
Okay, thank you everyone. Please take care. See you next week.